Christopher Lloyd joins us from the film. Yeah, good to see you. Can't wait to see you in studio sometime soon, hopefully.
Yeah, pretty soon. Theaters are going to be opening up again beyond the drive-in, so that's exciting.
All right, so what's out this week?
Got an interesting mix of movies this week, starting with a very neat biopic of an author I admit I had not heard of, Flannery O'Connor. She had kind of a very brief period in the late 40s to the early 60s when she was publishing, but she's very well regarded Southern writer in the William Faulkner tradition. Of course, was one of the kind of the first women to really make her mark. And she had a very interesting background because she was very legitimately religious, but she struggled with her faith, and that was reflected in her short stories and her books, which often had strange, grotesque, even violent things happening, which was kind of her working out her faith and her sort of examination of humanity and how that's reflected. Just a very interesting woman. I was very curious to learn about her life and her work. Actually, at least a couple of them were adapted into movies, so I will have to be checking those out.
Ah, excellent. What else?
Dirt Music looks like a good old-fashioned sweeping romance set in Australia. And this stars Kelly MacDonald, and she's kind of an older woman who is in a bad relationship with a very wealthy guy. They live in a mansion on the beach. And she kind of spots this younger guy who's sort of a grungy fisherman type, and ends up sort of running away from the bad guy to go to the good guy, and they end up having a bit of an adventure. Just, one of those old-fashioned kind of movies, like, gorgeous backgrounds and music and people falling in love. Just a really cool old-school romance.
All right, great. And
we've got Useless Humans, which is a science fiction horror comedy. Alec Toombs reviews this for the film. Yeah, doesn't have very much good things to say about it, I'm afraid. It's set on a man's 30th birthday party, and he has managed to convince his old college friends to come back and help him celebrate. And he's kind of like the misfit of the group, so he's happy to get them all together. But then an alien crashes the party, and it kind of ends up becoming sort of a chase, stab kind of thing the rest of the way.
Oh, that old trope when the alien crashes the party. Yeah, you've seen that before. No, I haven't. Okay. Anything else?
We've got The Painted Bird. And this film is getting rave reviews, but also cautious as being very tough to watch. It's a Czechoslovakian drama set in World War II about a young Jewish boy who's kind of a refugee on the run. And it's just, him running around, meeting people, getting help, getting chased by soldiers, and just sort of having the broad experience of human reaction to this young Jewish boy running and trying to save his life. Like I say, apparently a lot of hard stuff, very tough images, so be forewarned, but it's getting very good reviews.
Okay. Well, what about something that maybe we've missed?
So I was very pleased to see that, things are coming on and off of Netflix and the other streaming platforms every month. So on Netflix this week is one of my favorite World War II dramas. It's also kind of one of the last big old school dramas that Hollywood did about World War II. One of those cast of 1,000 stars, and it's like 3 hours long and everything going on. It's called A Bridge Too Far, and it's about actually one of the bigger disasters of the war by the Allies, where they launched this big, bold plan to take a series of bridges in Belgium and Germany and end the war by Christmas was the whole idea, and things just didn't go very well. Just a terrific movie. Got a great backstory. Joseph P. Levine, the producer, paid for the money to make the film himself out of his own pocket, and he had just done like schlocky films all of his life, and so this was his last chance as an old man to do something great, and he really did. Kind of a film that maybe most people haven't heard of compared to like D-Day or some other big films, but just a terrific film, A Bridge Too Far. So that's on Netflix right now. Go check it out.
Well, when a director's putting up their own money, that it's really more about the passion than it is necessarily the profit.
Yeah, screenwriter William Goldman actually wrote a book about the making of the movie.
Oh.
You can check that out. A lot of interesting stuff about the adventures they had making that film.
Well, speaking of people putting up their own money, Heartland's putting out the Indy Shorts Film Festival. Do you approach some of those differently in terms of your perspective and how to review them versus, say, something that has a big budget or studio backing?
Yeah, I mean, when you're reviewing films at a film festival, particularly shorts, you're talking about things that were made for an infinitesimal budget compared to even a small Hollywood film. A lot of these things, people literally pay for them on their credit cards, and they're getting their friends and family to chip in. with help and toting lights and things like that. So, I mean, you can't judge a 5-minute short film by a $30 million, feature film standard.
Sure. Awesome. All right, we'll put that link on IndyStyle.tv. Thank you. Always appreciate your perspective. Stay safe.
Thank you.